Billions of times a day, we send instant messages, but the internet was not built for real-time delivery. Standard web traffic uses a request-response model called HTTP. Your phone asks the server for data, and the server sends it back. But for chat, a server cannot push text to your phone unprompted. It must wait for your device to explicitly ask. To enable push-based messaging, engineers had to shift from these one-off requests to a persistent two-way connection. This shift relies on a technology called a WebSocket. It functions as a persistent two-way street between your phone and the server. A standard web connection closes as soon as a page finishes loading, but a WebSocket stays open for as long as you are logged into the app. By keeping this line active, the server can force new data onto your screen the millisecond it arrives without waiting for your phone to check in. The journey begins at login. A load balancer directs your phone to connect with one specific server node out of the thousands available in the system. Your phone and assigned node maintain the connection through heartbeats, constant tiny signals proving the link is alive. The server logs your status and location into an in-memory cache called Redis, creating a map that shows exactly which node manages your session. This map allows the system to instantly locate the direct line to any of its 1 billion users. When you send a message, your assigned node first saves it to a distributed database, ensuring the text is never lost if a server goes down. Your node queries the Redis map to check if your friend is online, finding them connected to node 3. The message is shot horizontally across the data center to their server, which pushes it down an open WebSocket to their phone. The interaction is managed by a relay race through 3 distinct server layers, completing the exchange in milliseconds. If you send a message to a friend who is offline, the system detects that they have no active heartbeat. Because the Redis map shows no active connection, the server places the message into a database queue, called an unread table. When your friend eventually logs in, their new node checks this queue, retrieves the pending message, and pushes it to their device. Once the recipient opens the chat, their phone sends a confirmation signal back up the WebSocket. This signal routes backward through the system to your phone, updating your screen to show the message has been read. Offline messaging relies on these persistent database queues, providing a workflow for when live memory maps are unavailable. Text messages are small, but photos are large. Routing high-resolution files through text-based databases would create massive bottlenecks. Instead, the system diverts photos to a separate storage vault, called a blob store. The vault saves the file and generates a thumbnail and a small URL. The chat nodes then pass only the lightweight URL and thumbnail between users. By decoupling heavy media from the core routing logic, the system remains responsive regardless of the file size being sent. Because the Redis map lives in RAM rather than on hard drives, the system tracks the status of 1 billion users with a surprisingly small hardware footprint. To maintain efficiency, older conversations are eventually compressed and moved into archive storage, keeping the primary servers lean. This same architecture powers every interaction, down to the small typing indicator bubble that appears when a friend is active. Modern chat is a triumph of engineering, a distributed state machine built on persistent connections that bypass the original limitations of the web.